It's as close to time travel as we're gonna get. This Week in Music History with Marty Miller.
Yeah, being a big fan of Back to the Future, those movies, this is time travel for me. Sort of. Okay, it's very tenuous. This week we are looking at September 8th until 12th, and I promise I will get you through a week of time travel through many decades in less than 10 minutes. This week it was the beginning of one of the best-selling albums ever in 1977.
It was the first time I ever got a standing ovation for anything, and the first time that any Jim Simon song had got that kind of reaction.
It was Christmas time in the world of David Bowie with his friend Bing Crosby.
You ever listen to any of the older fellas?
Oh, yeah, sure. I like John Lennon.
And a year after a casting call, the Monkees arrived on American TV.
They said, Oyanka, Kimbo, Kuamba, Kumasini.
What in the world does that mean?
Well, it doesn't mean live and be well.
Zipping through a week in a matter of minutes. This Week in Music History, the podcast.
This week in 1993, Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love appeared on stage together doing a show in Hollywood. They performed a song that they had written together called Pennyroyal Tea. You know this.
Sit and drink Pennyroyal tea to still the life that's inside of me. Sit and drink Pennyroyal tea. I'm a royal tea.
In 2002, I've no idea why, but Iron Maiden singer Bruce Dickinson started a new job as an airline pilot. He qualified, earning 35 grand a year as a first officer with the Gatwick London-based airline, who took holidaymakers to Portugal and Egypt. But you don't want to hear this from your pilot.
Over 50% of all air accidents are caused by the man at the controls.
This is Bruce Dickinson talking.
And though you can't prevent many kinds of pilot error, Airbus have designed the A320 to protect itself.
The Cars' Benjamin Orr would have had a birthday this week. I love this kind of stuff. This is the isolated vocal and bass on the session for the Cars, Just What I Needed, starring, of course, Benjamin Orr.
I guess you're just what I needed. I needed someone to feed. I guess you're just what I needed. I needed someone to bleed.
Zipping through a week in a matter of minutes. This Week in Music History, the podcast.
Imagine reading this in 1965. It was in a magazine called The Hollywood Reporter. Madness, folk and rock and roll musicians, singers wanted for acting roles in new TV show. Parts for 4 insane boys. The Monkees were born. Only 437 people applied for the job. From the actual audition, this is Davy Jones.
What?
What bag are you in?
Bag?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
All right, let me ask you something. I mean, like, do you make a folk sound or a rock sound or anything like that?
I make a terrible sound. But
Hey, let me see you do the song and dance you do.
Song and dance I do.
Cartwheel, something. Do something, quick.
A song and... You must be joking.
No, I'm not.
What do you want me to do? Sing?
Dance one of your little quick things. Hey, Davey, you want to know something? Honestly, hold it for a second.
What?
I really think you should have been a jockey.
This week in 1977, David Bowie recorded an appearance on Mark Bolan's ITV show. You know Mark Bolan from T-Rex. The show was called Mark. On it, David sung Heroes.
Nothing will keep us together. We can be heroes ever and ever.
This week in 1992, Chris Novoselic flattened himself during the MTV Music and Video Awards. He hit himself on the head with his guitar after throwing it up in the air. Chris says,
Threw it up there, and I had some beers and stuff, and maybe was a little nervous, and I caught it wrong, and just popped me on the head, and just kind of I fell down, and I just ran off stage. And Kurt didn't even know what happened, and I'm walking off stage. He sees me, and he kicks me in the ass as I walk off stage, of all things.
Zipping through a week in a matter of minutes. This Week in Music History, the podcast.
Again in 1977, Meatloaf released his second album called Bat Out of Hell. It was his first collab with the composer Jim Steinman and, of course, producer Todd Rundgren. It is one of the world's best-selling albums of all time. In fact, it still sells about 250,000 copies a year.
So I went down, auditioned for Steinman. He said, wait here. Brought in 40 people. I sang about 4 notes, and it was the first time I ever got a standing ovation for anything, and the first time that any Jim Simon song had got that kind of reaction. And so that's kind of how we got together, and Bat Out of Hell came about.
More Nirvana stuff from this week. In 1991, their single Smells Like Teen Spirit was released in the States. Just check out how bright Kurt Cobain sounds, explaining his writing process.
I've just noticed that people expect more of a thematic angle with our music. You know, they always want to read into it. And before, I was just using pieces of poetry and just garbage, you know, just stuff that just would spew out of me at the time. And a lot of times when I write lyrics, it's just at the last second because I'm really lazy. So, and then I find myself having to come up with explanations.
And more David Bowie stuff from 1977. He recorded a guest appearance on Bing Crosby's Merry Old Christmas TV show. This was to be shown at Christmas of the same year. He duetted with Crosby on Peace on Earth, Little Drummer Boy. Iconic.
Tell me, you ever listen to any of the older fellas? Oh, yeah, sure. I like John Lennon and the other one with Harry Nilsson. Ooh, you go back that far, huh? Oh, yeah, I'm not as young as I look. None of us is these days. They told me, ba-rum-pa-pum-pum, a newborn king to see, ba-rum-pa-pum-pum.
Zipping through a week in a matter of minutes. This Week in Music History, the podcast.
A year after running a national drive to recruit in 1966, NBC in the States aired the first episode of The Monkees.
Here we come. They says she's staying at the Ritz Swank Hotel. Come on, fellas, we've got to go.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't go there.
Look, they're trying to kill her.
How do you know?
Look, I know. The guy threatened to kill me, too.
What did he say?
They said, Oyanka Kimbo Kuamba Kumasini.
What in the world does that mean?
Well, it doesn't mean live and be well.
Oh, Davey, look, man. You cannot go down to the Ritz Swank Hotel and barge in there on a suspicion.
Look, will you trust me? She's got my jacket.
Oh, well, she's got your jacket.
Yeah.
She's got his jacket.
She's got his jacket.
She's got his jacket.
This week in 2003, singer-songwriter Johnny Cash, an all-round legend, died because of respiratory failure. He was 71 years of age. One of the most influential musicians of the 20th century, he was known as the Man in Black. His wife, June Carter, had died a few months beforehand.
The death of a legend, our top story this half hour. Johnny Cash is gone. The country music world is saying goodbye to the legendary Man in Black. He died early this morning at a hospital in Nashville.
I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm
stuck in Folsom Prison. The gravel voice singer passed away from diabetes complications after respiratory failure. A hospital spokeswoman said Cash was admitted late last month for a stomach condition. Cash's songs about prison, hard times, and everyday life helped earn him the title of the greatest man in country music. He was 71.
Finally for you this week, we'll end on a bang. The surviving members of Led Zeppelin this week in 2007 announced that they would reform for a star-studded tribute concert in London. The show happened in December of 2007 in the O2 London, and it was magnificent.
Hey, mama said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove.
And that is a look at This Week in Music History. That is the week of September 8th until 12th. Hammering through the decades in less than 10 minutes, because that's the promise.
This Week in Music History, the podcast.